stuff happening in the VTuber space lately. All the Cinder stuff, the raccoon stuff, Kirsha leaflet stuff that just happened.
Yeah, that stuff actually going on was kind of crazy over the last week. Oh my god. And of course, Kirsha took a ban for one day because a whole bunch of people brigaded her. I mean, come on.
Happened. And now also, recently, VTuber Scooch-chan, hopefully I said that right. But yeah, Scooch-chan got some crazy hate from a Twitter freak type, getting like 2,500 likes on a tweet that was getting all mad at her because she had the audacity to disagree with feminist extremists
Don't tell me it's bent. Please, don't tell me it's bent, dude.
trying to incite violence against people and like advocating for violence against people. Similarly, Kitsu has had a lot of harassment sent her way because she's also standing up for men. And in particular, her situation, looking at it, she had like this crazy stalker for a number of weeks. So she's been dealing with like all kinds of crazy stuff for a while. But that's culminated over the last 24 hours or so with these extremists also doxing her. So yeah, we'll get all the context to that stuff. That's just like the prelude, the intro. Now on to the madness. I saw this tweet going around yesterday. You can see it's got 2,500 likes. But first, let's get the context to what they're responding to, that being this tweet from May 12th from Scooch-chan, who says, "The amount of people in the comments who just don't get that men want a cute, loving girlfriend is beyond me. They call them creeps for wanting actual love and not a girl boss who only wants your money."
Now, I can definitely speak to that one. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm married. Been married. Long time. It's one of those things. The definition of actual love in a long term relationship, it's one of those things where people just kind of notice that, there's the romantic love and for dating and all that stuff, but when it comes to moving forward with your life, you basically are with somebody and you've made that commitment, and sometimes it's just hanging out next to each other, you know basically they're supposed to be your best friend for life. It's kind of what it is. So wanting actual love is important because most of the things in modern territory of girl bossing is she's only for that bag. She only wants to get her bag. You're just a side piece.
That responding to this clip that was getting a ton of traction on Twitter. You can see here 146,000 likes, 44.2 million views. And we'll take a brief scroll through this clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing because you know how YouTube DMCA can be. And then I'll show you the synopsis for this anime. So it's from this anime, Josie Tutora. Synopsis being, equipped with his passion for diving and admiration for marine biology, university student Sunio Suzukawa tries his best to juggle several part-time jobs to earn enough money to study abroad. But one night, in a fateful accident, he meets a girl in a wheelchair, driving his current path into a detour. The girl Kumiko, who prefers to be called Josie, initially comes off as rude. Sunio, however, is then convinced by Josie's grandmother to take on the paid job to be Josie's caretaker. Despite being annoyed with her bossy demeanor, Sunio sees the opportunity to save more funds to support his academic dream. Nevertheless, after putting up with Josie's behavior for some time, Sunio tries to quit, only to discover Josie's dreams of traversing the outside world to experience a life free from her crippling condition. Changing his mind, Sunio decides to accompany Josie in exploring the wonders that the world has to offer. Through their time together, the two begin to realize that the traits that bind them may be vital toward fulfilling their respective aspirations.
Now, honestly, that seems just completely wholesome. Now, what I see for this tweet, excuse me, this being a perverted fantasy? No. This is basically, it's really hard with regards when you have someone who winds up in a wheelchair, and for the last, oh god, almost 4 months, my wife was actually stuck in a wheelchair, and I had to help her every step of the way, getting into the house, getting out of the house, getting her food, getting everything, and taking care of her. And the one thing is, it's a lot of work, and you have to put a lot of love into that. And the other thing is, when you're loved in return, you get shown that in different ways, and you just have to be there for them, and it becomes kind of a bond. And I mean, I could start getting emotional about this, but yes, this isn't a perverted fantasy. This is literally what men tend to see, that bond. They want that connection. If they were to have that connection, they would keep it hard because they know everything is reciprocated.
So yeah, once again, then this clip gets posted to Twitter. Scooch-Chan responds saying, the amount of people in comments who just don't get that men want a cute loving girlfriend is beyond me. They call them creeps for wanting actual love and not a girl boss who only wants your money. And yeah, in the responses to that clip, there were all kinds of toxic responses like this one saying, weird since most men abandon their disabled and chronically ill spouses.
Now, honestly, with that kind of take, I would definitely say there is a high possibility that there are a lot of people that really just don't care for other people these days. I mean, you can look at the divorce rates recently. I mean, every time that we've done more research and different stuff into this, there are a lot of people that see that divorce rates just keep climbing because people don't want to actually invest in that level of a connection. And that, by far, is the saddest thing that I can say. Because when you commit to somebody, it doesn't matter, man, woman, whatever. If you commit to somebody, then yeah, it is what it is. And abandoning other people, that's just evil.
That getting a community note that says, this claim most likely refers to a widely cited 2015 study suggesting that men are more likely to leave their disabled or chronically ill spouses. This was retracted due to a coding error that invalidated its conclusions. Other weird people taking a different approach, for example, this comment that says, that's a little girl. This is weird.
Okay, this goes into the whole, it's an anime, dude. The girl in the chair could be 18 to 20 years old. Yeah, and the added context, she's 24. Yeah, that's not exactly weird. Unfortunately, the people that tend to screw this up is they always look into it, like lolicons, that kind of stuff. And Lolly is a character type. It's not a child. People that don't understand this really, I mean, seriously, there's an anime I would recommend for people to actually look at, but it's not exactly copyright friendly, or I'd do my own personal reacts to it. I might even one day consider Patreon or something to be able to do that, but it's the Tenchi Muyo OVA. That really kind of plays into it.
Community note saying she's 24. Or this one, for example, that says, you show this as fantasy because it's not true for the majority. You show this as fantasy because it's not true for the majority of men who participate in abuse of disabled people. Huh? No,
What?
most men do not abuse disabled people. OP's like, did you even try to think before telling that lie? We know this is demonstrably false because we know most disabled people are abused, so at least half of those doing that are men. That's just from common sense. It gets exponentially worse looking at the actual data. The actual data you mentioned showed that less than 25% of men left their disabled partners, which, if you didn't know, is way less than 75%. That person then going on to hit us with
wall of text crits you for 5,000.
activate my trap card, not mere force, wall of text, and people responding to this saying things like, this doesn't really debunk what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. This is in absolutely no way an indication that the majority of men abuse people with disabilities, you frickin' numpty. Claims evidence, cites a survey. Surveys are not evidence. In fact, their use in research papers discredit research institutions as a whole. We're not going to go read that whole thing. I'm just giving you some examples of like the toxic comments, right? So let's get back to the main point. That being Scooch-Chan pointing out the toxic responses and how people...
And of course, people are going to come after Scoo about this because she decided to step into it and actually try to defend men. Which sucks, because there are so many freaking feminists these days that just go the wrong way.
People are so bizarre to get angry over this minute and a half almost anime clip, where we then get this person suffering from complete political brain rot responding to Scoo-Chan getting 2,500 likes on this response that reads, "Another VTuber grifting to the right, using culture war as the focal point of their politics." And posting 2 screenshots, one of a video Scoo-chan made that says, "Scoo is shocked at how violent feminists are on the internet," and the second one saying, "Scoo is fed up with women punching down on men." But let's go back to the first one here. You can see the thumbnail. Why are they like this? And showing a tweet where someone said, "I would love to grab her by the hair," and redacted her face against the fridge in response to a woman posting a picture of herself, presumably with the hashtag tradwife and feminine. And the second one showing this comparison between like women's romance and men's romance. And so a lot of people called this person out for their brain rot take. Here's my response saying, "So this VTuber Scoo-chan made some takes that disagreed with unhinged feminists inciting violence against innocent people, and your response was to get upset at Scoo-chan, bring up politics, the culture war, and call her a grifter? What?"
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Calling her a grifter just because she decided to have an opinion on the internet. Man, some people are brain rotted.
Going back to that person's take, we can see other responses such as Akuma Miko saying, "Fellas, is it political to be a man?" Nani, the Ghost Cat VTuber, saying, "Caring about and respecting men does not make you a bad person. You're welcome." Shuonhead even leaving a response that says, "Didn't know who this was, but checked out their channel because of this tweet. They're super cute and funny. Thanks."
Based Shu, she's funny, and a lot of people don't like her. Don't know why. Maybe because they call her a fence sitter. Or they just try to shove her over onto the right wing of the bird.
Got Smugalena laughing and saying, "Let's go," and Scoo-chan also saying, "I love you so much." Check out this exchange where Rosie Belmu responds and the OP also responds to Rosie. So Rosie says, "This person doesn't even talk about politics. I'm so confused genuinely. Why are we attacking her?" The OP Lycion saying, "These are obvious political topics. I got these screenshots from her official YouTube channel. They literally mentions feminists and punching down in the title. Those aren't just speaking well about men." Rosie says, "I guess I don't understand because I've seen many titles of people ranging from feminism to vegan, etc., who are just very loud on Twitter. Usually they don't represent the normal majority for whatever group and use it as a shield. And it's good to call out when people like this are being crazy online. And I don't really get the meme comp thumb being an issue. Also, is she even from the US? I just feel like 2 thumbnails meaning this conclusion feels in bad faith."
Well, of course, Rosie tends not to actually do things in politics land, so she doesn't really get into this. So I understand her confusion. She doesn't go into these realms. She doesn't deal with culture wars or anything like that. She does her own thing. So I can get it, where she didn't exactly understand this. However, she stepped in it where people are going to start yelling at her, which is unfortunate.
This complete wacko then responds to Rosie and says, "The issue is that this women punching down on men have it so bad, thing is a fabricated incel narrative. It's a subset of sexless women-hating a-holes making up an issue to distract from women's problems, or outright saying they're deserved, and she just wants the money." What the frick, dude? Rosie's like, "Okay, but the post doesn't say that. What you're saying isn't even the post we're talking about. Is this your own lore added with no context? It's exhausting." The irony of this person talking about fabricated incel narratives as they literally do the thing that they're getting mad at and accusing other people of doing. Zero self-awareness. Unfortunately,
I actually saw a good quote recently that I can't remember exactly who said it, whether or not it was somebody else who was right, an honorable chatter of Kirsha's, or I mean, even one of the, different ones. Maybe it was Roach Ranch. I don't know. But one of them actually said, "They cry out as they stab you." And this is literally that.
a common thing to see on the internet. The good news is it seems to come from a minority of toxic, weird people, and they are getting more and more pushback from everyone else these days. And all of that takes us over to Kitsu's response, quote tweeting Lycion and saying, "As this is something that was done to me, screw you. Screw you, screw the woke, screw the extremist left BS. Women supporting men exist. You are only bitter because no man wants you.
Oh god. Oh, way to go, Kitsu. Lighting a fire. Yep. Yeah, and honestly, this is seeing this next comment. Kitsu just doesn't care. She got doxxed for basically saying men deserve love. And at that point, I honestly hope I don't ever have issues. I mean, I can stay small. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm just here to have fun. I will just talk about what I want to talk about and what I actually see. But yeah, getting attacked, that's the moment where you're like, okay, I don't care anymore. Gloves off. I'm just going to say what I want to say no matter what. And I don't care about the haters. You can hate watch me. I don't care.
Look how base this is. Person says, you are about to get jumped so hard. Kitsu's just like, I don't care anymore. I don't even care. Oh my gosh, look at this pathetic response though. Kitsu seems nice, but like, this stuff she says just platforms a lot of genuinely harmful rhetoric. Yeah, the people harassing like others for disagreeing with people who incite violence, I think that's like the harmful stuff. But no, get mad at the people for calling that out. Come on, dude. That's where things got a lot worse though, as it takes us to this tweet where Kitsu says, well, cat's out of the bag. A lot of you have seen it by now. I've been doxxed. Authorities have already been informed.
Yep, when I heard she got doxxed, I was like, oh no. I said a quiet prayer to the Lord really quick and basically committed myself to, if I run into that stupid post, I will report it immediately. And I'm glad I never saw it. As far as I'm concerned, she is that German VTuber. She's that German VTuber. That's it. She's in Germany. I don't know which province she's in. I don't know where she's at. Don't care. She's in Germany. And I think Skew is French, honestly. I think Skew is French. So, I mean, honestly, those two getting along, that's cool. That is really cool. But of course, anybody can correct me on that one, please. If you know better, if you know the lore better than me, please do so.
And you know why I've been doxxed? Because I dared say I support men. If you see it, kindly report the post. Thank you. Okay, I legit had some people come at me and be like, how could you get doxxed when you posted your face yourself? There's more than just faces in regards of personal information, like...
Yeah, I remember seeing this post and these posts. It's where things get even more worse. Oh my god. But it's where it comes down to the brain rot. Yes, she originally on her Insta posted images with her face. Normal, average looking German girl. Big deal. Don't care. I was like, oh, well, you look close to what your model does. That's a good point. I'm going to say that, well, my model is only 1.0. This is me using Atsuyani's, kit to actually get a good model. And hopefully one day I can, through the miracle of people on the internet, if people eventually like my content and continue forward, then I can start issuing the monies that I get forward towards new models, improving my streams, improving everything I have, and getting an editor, getting mods, getting things to help me out. I mean, because honestly, in truth of everything, just starting out, I just wish I had people that were knowledgeable and helpful. People that can point me in the right direction, that kind of stuff. But it is what it is.
And yeah, she's completely right about that. But the good news is they can't stop her. She's just too based. Seems like she's in good spirits. She's handling this pretty well. She's been streaming for like hours today. I checked briefly on her stream and it seems like she's like chilling, having a good time. So these Twitter freaks basically accomplished nothing and only made themselves and all their rhetoric look even worse. Then on top of that though, she's been dealing with this freaking stalker, like a literal stalker, since April.
Yeah, and back in April, I actually was looking into this round about my start to see if I would even be remotely interested in doing any content on this person. And after a bit of research, I was like, no, this is a parasocial that do not feed the trolls, do not give him any attention, because if you give him even an iota of attention, he's just going to start glomming at you and attacking, because he's just a serial harasser. He needs to go away. And I'm sure in real life, if he's like this, he's probably got a restraining order or two. He's unhinged. Just unhinged.
Saying here, you know what? Since this guy's harassing me over supporting men, I will say it again. Men deserve love. Simple. And we can see this person who's like obsessed with her and been stalking her.
Yeah, and those profile pictures of a game I refuse to even try to play, because it just, the coffin of Andy and Lele. I try to avoid that game. People are actually playing that game, that kind of stuff. I mean, it just, I caught a stream of somebody doing it once, and I would only play it if all of a sudden it came down to, I'm not going to buy it. If somebody gifted it to me and then wanted to get my reactions in live play, yeah, I would do that. But I am not actively going to put forward to actually do that, because there is so much disgusting in that game.
Has made a ton of different accounts that she keeps blocking him on. So she's had harassment, she's had stalkers, people obsessed with her, trying to ruin her life, dox her, etc., all because, once again, she's like making some of the most reasonable takes you possibly can, such as men deserve love. That's it. For another example, I think this tweet she made back on March 15th was one of the ones that initially got all these weirdos going after her to begin with, where she said, men deserve to be loved and treated right. And this got her responses like, oh, shut up. No, they don't. Interaction bait. Nobody cares. Men deserve nothing. Blocked. This is VTuber Speak 4. I need more donations.
Yeah, of course. They're going to call out and try to say grifter from all of the fourth wave feminists.
Of course it's a frickin' VTuber saying this. All you do is pander to gooner incel dudes who probably have a parasocial relationship with you. Men are not oppressed. Bro, look at this one at the very top. I'm not even going to repeat that one. If you're not watching this video, though, it's basically a take calling for men to all be publicly life-ended. It's a freaking crazy thing to say. And right below that, whole society, religion, and state is made to coddle them. What more do you want? And just to clarify, when I say not watching, I mean like if you're looking away or you're audio only right now, you know, that's what I mean. One more example of these sort of people getting really upset at Kitsu, and there are many, many examples. I'm just not going through all of them in this video, of course, but we'll take a look at this one where she said, I hate feminism, and this person's like, girl, you need to shut the F up. So mad. Kitsu responds saying, I already stated this, but modern feminism is toxic and not needed anymore in the West. The first wave of feminism was amazing. But if you can't realize that modern feminism is toxic, then you're part of the problem. This other person says, if this is your way of gaining fans, it's very pathetic and embarrassing.
Honestly, this is not her way of gaining fans. She did not attempt anything. This is just her stating an opinion. Well, everybody should be entitled to that, myself included.
Pathetic and embarrassing, huh? That actually describes the people going after Kitsu pretty dang well. And so, little bonus here at the end. I actually just got sent some DMs from Kitsu, DMs that she's getting from complete psychopaths. Like, I don't even know how to put into words how freaking crazy these people are. Look at this stuff, man. She got a DM that says, you are not safe, with like random emojis. What the frick? They're probably not random. This person probably put some thought into it. Just thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to use these. But like, dude, what's wrong with you? It gets worse. She gets this DM that talks about like, I don't want to repeat this, dude. It's so bad. Like, talks about laughing if the cops ended up like breaking into her house because of the docs, like swatting her and freaking, you know, doing that stuff to her. You're freaking psycho. Says, I'm certain nobody would miss you. And then look at this. This is a bunch of DMs that she's getting from who seems to be that like stalker of hers. This is just so crazy. Look what this person says. I just want to let you know a few things. Let's just say that I can't promise that myself and others won't get hurt if things get out of hand. What? Oh my gosh.
This actually kind of makes me worry and think along the lines of, next thing you know, this unhinged person is going to actually commit a few felonies and try to get things to happen because she was doxxed. And, well, if I want to admit it, yes, Kitsu's my Oshi. Yes, she is. She's the one that actually got me here, and I will be forever grateful. She actually took moments out of live stream, no less. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of her time to make sure that I was able to actually get rolling, and I will be forever grateful.
Sandry is the culture of the world. You all deserve to suffer. I live only for my beloved, but the world will always bring out my despair. Bro thinks he's the main character. My beloved was the only one who protected me over a year ago. Keep your fake sympathy to yourself, because humanity is too screwed up to have any left. You don't know how much I've... Whoa, we ain't reading that part. Talks about how much they want to take the lives of other people is what they said there. So much, and I only resisted for my beloved. Hidden media. Oh, wait, what? Okay, it's not hidden anymore. Wait, I was expecting something a lot worse than that. They say, here's what an example of someone who can actually have sympathy, kind, sweet, wholesome, and reserved. The type of wholesome person who gives head pats and snuggles to their loved ones. They have sympathy. You don't. You think all of your fans are tards. You escalate drama constantly, and it's why you got doxxed.
And this is where I personally disagree, because she actually cares about people. I mean, come on. I was nobody. Completely nobody who was struggling to figure things out, and she took 5 minutes out of her day just to help somebody who was not sub to her, was not anything. I had not even given her a dono or anything, and she took 5 minutes out of her day to help. That calls to her character. And this kind of stuff makes me upset. Because if you're going to slander somebody who will take 5 minutes of their day just to help somebody out, this guy means nothing.
Why should I believe someone like you has sympathy when you don't care about your own community? You say they're tards, and you even did today. VTubers like yourself still feel sad that your harassment campaign over AI art failed, and you're not passive enough to actually have sympathy? That's why I did this. Misandry is the culture of the world, and the only people